Hey developers, once again this is Ron and welcome back to OneFoldCom channel. In our last video, we've covered the essentials of JavaScript, diving into the variables, data types, and the basics. Today, we're stepping it up a notch by exploring two crucial concepts, and that is concatenation and data coercion in JavaScript. Understanding how JavaScript handles concatenation and data coercion is pivotal for any developer. Stick around as we unravel these concepts and see how they influence your code. I hate to keep you waiting, so let's get started. To start our discussion in string concatenation and data type coercion, I have already moved our previous example into this file and created another new file, app.js. Today, our main spotlight is on data type coercion in JavaScript, a concept crucial for understanding how JavaScript dynamically handles different data types. However, as we explore the intricacies of type coercion, we will also unearth the intertwined nature of concatenation, another essential feature in JavaScript arsenal. While our focus is on type coercion, diving into concatenation will provide us with valuable insights into how data types interplay in JavaScript. So let's embark on this journey unraveling the mystery of data type coercion and simultaneously uncovering the secrets of concatenation in JavaScript. Before we delve into the code, let's break down the concept of concatenation. Let us just comment this out for our reference. To demonstrate this, let us first create two variables with two strings value. Maybe let's create a variable named string1. Then let's assign a value. And let's say the value that I would like to use is hello, or to assign is hello. Then let's create another variable, string. And then let's name it string2. Then let us say hello world. So it will be worded for this time. Now let's try to combine these together. Let us place this inside another string variable and call it result. Now all we have to do is use the first string, string1, and then add the operator plus. You can also add a space if you want, and then followed by the string2 or the second string variable. Now this will automatically convert the first and second string together with a space in between. Now let's try to log it into the console and pass the result to the console. Okay, let's check what will be the end or output for this one. Now on our live server, let us check the console by inspecting the browser. And move to the console, and here we can see that we have successfully concatenated or joined two strings together. First, we have the hello, followed by the word, and also we added a space in between the hello word. Another thing that we can do is concatenate string with another data type. To demonstrate this, let's create another string. Maybe let's name it name this time and assign a name value into this variable. And the name will be Alice. Then let's use another data. Let's create a variable and assign a number value into this one. So maybe let's use age. Then assign a number 30 into this variable. Now the first one is a string and the second one is a number. Now let's try to concatenate these two variables. Maybe let's add a sentence. Well, make it a sentence. My name is, followed by the name, followed by another string, then another variable which is the age, And let's say, for example, let's add years old. Don't forget the plus operator. And don't forget the spaces. Now, to view these hidden letters or characters in our screen, what we can do is change the view into word wrap. Now, let's try and log this into the console. And in here, we can see that we have successfully logged our string with the number into the console. We have here, my name is Alice and I am 30 years old. Another method that we can do is to easily concatenate the two strings by appending them using the plus equal sign. To demonstrate that, let's create another variable. Let's say we would like it to append to a string variable that contains a greeting. Then let's assign a greeting value into this variable. Let's say, for example, we would like to say hello. Then let's create another string variable that we will going to append or concatenate into this variable. Then let's assign a value named Rob into this variable. Let's make it number 2 since we already have a name in our line number 7. Now let's try to concatenate these two strings. Let's say for example, greeting is plus equal to Rob or name 2. Now let's try and log this into the console. Now we can see that our value updates from hello into greeting hello Rob. Basically, it concatenates the value of the first value to the name with the value assigned Rob. This is the faster way in order for us to concatenate two strings together. Now that we have explored various aspects of string concatenation in JavaScript, let's shift our focus to another concept, and that is type coercion. Understanding type coercion is pivotal in comprehending how JavaScript dynamically handles different data types. Now, to begin our exploration into type coercion in JavaScript, let's organize our code files. I'll create a fresh start for our type coercion examples by setting aside our string concatenation code into a separate file and creating a new file specifically for type coercion. Now, as usual, first, let's rename our existing file dedicated to string concatenation. I'll rename it to for-concatenation.js to signify its content. This will allow us to preserve our previous code for future reference. In our exploration of type coercion, let's first dive into implicit type of coercion. Implicit type coercion refers to the automatic conversion of data types in JavaScript without explicit instructions from the developer. This conversion happens when different data types are involved in operation, typically during assignments or calculations. Now let's create an example. First, let's create a variable num. Then let's assign a value 10. Then let's create a new variable. Let's call this one concat num3. Now let's plug this into the console. You can see in our example that we added number, which is a string, to a number which is a number variable. That means to say that This process automatically converted the num variable that we have in here into a string. Now let's create another sample. That further demonstrates this process. Even though we have number 1 and number 2, but since one of them is a string, using the operator plus converts the other one, which is the number 10, the first variable number 1, into a string, effectively making them both string. Hence, we have a value 10 and 10 in our console. Now let's move on to the explicit type of coercion or conversion. Explicit type of conversion in JavaScript involves the deliberate and conscious conversion of data from one type to another using built-in functions or methods provided by the language. This conversion allows developers to control the data type of variables or values, ensuring specific operations are performed accurately based on the desired data type. Now let's make an example. Let's create a variable num string, short for number and string. Then let's assign a value 20 into this variable, but instead of assigning a number 20, let's assign a string 20. Then let's try to convert this variable using the number method built in JavaScript. Finally, let's log this into the console. Now to further confirm this, let's also log the type of this variable. In this example, the variable numString holds a string value 20. Now by utilizing the number function, JavaScript explicitly converts this string representation of a number into an actual numeric type. The number function specifically coerces its argument into a numeric value, so when the method is executed, the string 20 is converted into its numeric equivalent 20. This explicit type conversion ensures that the variable num holds a numeric value, allowing for arithmetic operations or numeric manipulations to be performed accurately on this value. Now let's move on to another sample. This time, we will explore how different operators handle type coercion in JavaScript. Now, let's log into the console a numeric number and a string number with two different kinds of operators. First, let's use addition. Now, let's use subtraction. Now, we can see that in our first example, we have the 10 and 10 string, and on the second one, we have a number 5. In here, the plus and minus operators showcase different behaviors with strings and numbers. The plus operator prioritizes string concatenation, converting the number into a string and resulting into 10 or 1010. On the other hand, the minus operator interprets the string as numbers, performing subtraction instead of concatenation. Now to further confirm this, let us log into the console the type of these numbers. And there we have it. In our console, we can see it that our number 1010 is a string and our number 5 is a numeric number 5. Now, let's move on to another type of coercion. This time, we're going to do comparison operators and type coercion. Let us just log into the console two numbers, one numeric value and one string value, but this time using comparison operators. Now, in this example, the lose equality double equal sign or two equal sign operator performs type coercion, attempting to make both sides of the comparison the same type before evaluation. However, the strict equality triple equal sign or three equal sign operator checks both value and type, resulting in false as the types are different. Since the values are different or of different types, string and numbers, the strict equality operator returns false, indicating that the values are not equal due to the difference in both value and type. Understanding how these operators handle type coercion is crucial in JavaScript to write reliable and predictable code. Using the strict equality is often recommended to avoid unexpected behaviors that might arise from explicit type coercion performed by the loose equality operator. Now let's move on to another sample and our last type of coercion for this session. Now this time we will demonstrate using Boolean coercion. In JavaScript, Boolean coercion involves the process of converting non-Boolean values into their Boolean equivalents, that is either true or false. The Boolean function is utilized to explicitly perform this conversion. Now let's examine how this function behaves with different types of values. First, we will try an example where we will convert a non-empty string to a true value. In our first example, when the Boolean function is applied to a non-empty string, hello, it is coerced to true. In Boolean coercion, non-empty strings are always evaluated to true. Now let's move on to example number 2. This time, we will convert an empty string to false. And as usual, let us just add a comment. Now let's assign a new value to this Boolean value variable, but this time we will use the function Boolean. It will be an empty string this time. Now for this example, when an empty string is passed to the Boolean function, it is coerced to false. Empty string along with other false values like null, undefined, 0, or not a number are evaluated as false in Boolean coercion. Now these examples that we have, the example number 1 and example number 2, effectively converts our values into true or false. The Boolean function serves as a tool for explicitly converting non-Boolean values to their Boolean equivalents. Non-empty strings, objects, numbers other than 0, and arrays are coerced to true. And of course, conversely, empty strings, null, undefined, 0, and none, or not a number, are coerced to false when subjected to Boolean coercion. Understanding Boolean coercion aids in conditional operations and help control the flow of logic in JavaScript programs, making this function useful in different kinds of use case scenario. Let's say, for example, form validation. It checks whether the provided inputs are empty or contain valid data before allowing submissions, or conditional operations. By leveraging Boolean coercion, you can easily perform conditional checks on various data types, simplifying validation process in JavaScript applications. And there we have it. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of JavaScript fundamental concepts. We've covered a wide array of topics from string concatenation to type coercion and delved into the nuances of data handling and manipulation in JavaScript. Remember, understanding these concepts not only helps in writing efficient and bug-free code, but also forms a cornerstone of mastering JavaScript development. I hope this journey has been insightful and valuable for you, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on JavaScript and web development. And if you have any questions, suggestions, or any specific topics you'd like to cover in future videos, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Once again, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Happy coding!